lesson which is uploaded to your Schoology account, because here I will try to explain first the so-called ERD, because using the ERD, so that will be the focus of our first activity and exam for the prelim. So you will be creating a so-called ERD in the database concept. The week one is all about the overview of your introduction to database, on how to create the history and so on. But on the week two, it's all about the diagramming, okay, on how to create a database using the ERD diagram. So let's try to skip on the this definition. So we will proceed on the symbol of the ERD. ERD composed of 4 symbols. It's just like flowchart, but this is not a flowchart. So ERD stands for Entity Relationship Diagram. So this was created by our very own EF code, no? Siya developed together with the IBM. Okay? So the ERD is used to create a diagram or schematic diagram that represents the fields and attributes of each table. The box here, or the rectangular form or shape, so which is entity, represents the name of the table. But in the diagram, it is representation of the rectangular symbol. So later on, you will know what is the table what I mean on the next lesson. So the attribute here, which is represented by the oval symbol, is your attribute. In database, it is called fields, but in the diagram, it is called attributes. So the attributes composed of the different properties. So later on, you will know what are the different properties in the next lesson. But for the meantime, we will focus on how to create a diagram to have your first activity and exam. And then next to it is your actions. Actions is the relationship of the entity towards another entity. Because entity is not only composed of one entity. There will be 2 or more entities. So that is why we need actions in order for us to relate or to connect other entities to through using these actions or this symbol diamond. So in flowchart, it is called decision making, but here it is called actions. Okay? And lastly, we have connecting lines. Connecting lines represents the direction and the cardinalities of what would be the relationship of the entity towards another entity. No? So when I say cardinality, so I have here the cardinality of symbol. It can either be for the straight line without any additional lines on it. It is called one-to-one. That means one entity to another entity. So for example, na one-to-one is, for example, isa ka parking lot, isa ka salakyan. No? May isa bid space ang parking lot. No? Siyempre, makaigo lang da, isa lang gid ka salakyan. No? Kalawa ay nakaroon nga ang isa ka salakyan na sampaw pagid sa babaw sa isa. So, kung isa ka parking lot, isa ka salakyan. Ayan. So, pwede na. When you say naman straight line with a barrier, either both sides, no? Either drisha or disha, okay? And as you can see here, there will be two lines that is inclined, no? From bottom and the top of it. So it is called one-to-many. When you say one-to-many, so one entity, it can reference this data to one entity but many references. So for example, one of the example on the situation is that one section, many student. So that's an example of one-to-many. So isa ka student, isa ka section, let's say 4A or 4B or 4C, so it will relate to another entity which is many. So, ang many, amo na ang mga students. Isa ka section, damo student. Okay? So, that is an example of the cardinality of one-to-many. And then the last one for the cardinality is many-to-many. Many-to-many, as you can observe, or you may have noticed, so there will be two uh, inclined, no, symbol, no, on both sides. So meaning, so there will be many references to another entity, many references man. So one of the example of many to many, what can I think of it? Store. Okay, let me think. Oh, we will go back to the example on the parking lot. So for example, in SM, Holland, so there will be lots of parking lot, then many parking lots for many cars. So many to many relationship. So nila many parking lot reference to many cars. So that is many to many. Lagi na ya, one parking lot lang, one car. But SM composed of many parking lots, so that means many cars man na pwede ka park. So that is the relationship of many to many. Okay. So that is what you call cardinality. So cardinality used to reference the data from either of these cardinality using the ERD symbols. Okay, so that's the cardinality all about using your ERD. So kung magamit ka mo sa mga symbols and if you want to connect to another entity, so you use this symbol either one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many, depending on the entities that you are going to relate. So, as an example, sa one parking lot, one car. One section, many students. Many parking lots, many cars. So, that is the cardinality. Okay? Now, example of the ERD is this. Okay? So, observe, we have SID. SID stands for Student ID. So this is the attribute of the student. So we have two entities here. We have student and course. Okay, so there are two entities. So this is an example of enrollment system. So wherein student will enroll in a course. So that means one student, many courses. So the student can choose any course that he or she wants. And before siya mag-enroll, naka-choose na sa dapat. Okay? So the line here represents on the connected to one attribute, which is student ID. So that's the data that the system will going to get from the student entity. So, student ID. So, di ba may mga student ID ka mo? So, kwaon na sa ninyo nga system, student ID, and syempre the name. So, if you want to add another attribute like address, age, contact number, so you can add additional attributes on the student. Okay, you may add lots of attributes here, no? Aside from these two attributes. So you can add more than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, as many as you want, as long as related to the student. So do not put any attributes that is not or that are not related to the student. So hindi kita pagibutang ang color sang gani, ano ngalan sang bag, anong brand sang bag, hindi na pagibutang anong color sang iyang sapatos, so hindi na pagibutang ang pertaining lang sa student. Okay? Same with the course. So for the entity course, the course have the attribute of course ID, or you can say course code if you want to, or the course description or course name. So course code, for example, BSET, course name, for example, Bachelor of Science in Engineering Technology. Oh, so pwede na. So BSET 4AB or 4C or 4B. So depending on the code that is related to the course. Okay. As you observe, the cardinality is one student, it will enroll to the different courses. Okay. Wherein the student can choose a different course of his choice. Okay. So that is ERD. Okay. So ako man yung mag-create later on. Anyway, I will give you another example. Now, the field size regarding on creating a table, this is the process of specifying maximum number of data and amount. Because each of the field contains field size. So, diyan na ma-determine kung pila ang size ng isa ka data sa isa ka database. For example, ang name mo da. O, for example, ang name tadi is student name mo, tanta video na tanman diyabe. So, each of the letter of Jonathan Mandia, Jonanth, may data na siya, may field size na siya. Okay? Without knowing, nagasulat lang ta, but the computer interpret it as data. So, therefore, may size na siya. Every time gatay ka mo da sa pangalan nyo, sa Word mo da siya, or sa Excel or PowerPoint, it will acquire data and field size. So that's the logic of the field size. Now, so we have here the different data types of the database that we're going to use here using your XAMPP. So by the way, if you have laptop with you or desktop computers, you can download the XAMPP. Okay, letter X A M P P, XAMPP, on their website. You just search it to Google, then you can download the application to your laptop or desktop. Sorry, I have no idea if the XAMPP is available on the Android or iOS. It's because it's a database, at the same time a source of programming APIs. So I have no idea if it is available on Android or iOS. Okay, so this is an integer value. You have tiny int, small int, medium int, and big int. Okay, and you have here the different data field size. So, ano yung mga sizes nila? Okay, if we have noticed, based on, when you say signed, may negative na siya and positive. Kung unsigned, it is purely positive numbers. Now, if you have observed, there will be positive and negative, positive and negative, positive and negative, positive and negative. But the unsigned is purely positive numbers only. If you have observed here on the data fields. Yeah. So that's what you call unsigned. Kung unsigned, positive data. Kung signed, positive and negative data. Okay? If you have noticed also, the more you choose from the different integer values, okay, they have increased, no, into field size. So the biggest amount of field size here is the big int. Okay, so that's for the integer value. And then we have the text data type. So for the text data type, we have tiny text, text, medium text, long text, and the car. Okay, so the smallest data fields for the text data type is the car, and then it's a char, huh? This is car, now which is the value of 10 bytes. Okay, 10 bytes lang siya. No? So, tiny text siya, 256 bytes, text kilobytes, megabytes, and gigabytes. So, the biggest is the long text, the gigabyte. Okay, so that is the ERD and the data type that later on we'll be using on creating a database. Okay, so let's have an example of creating a ERD. So supposing, we will be creating a points of sale. No? When you say points of sale, ang mga makita niya sa mga supermarket na gaskan sa mga product from the shelves, no? Using your barcode. Tapos gina-swipe mo sa OCR or optical character recognizer na mabasa yung barcode, tapos ma-display sa screen ang price ng product. Okay, so let's say umanang yung monta. Now, so you try to analyze what would be the entity that we are going to get from the POS. So if you try to analyze and say POS, points of sale, kung nagbakal ka, binagwa ka isa ka product, so ano ang entity na pwede ito makuha? Siyempre, ang next nga ang first kinatang makam sa ating mind is pwede ka mo ka ibo entity na ang pangalan rectangular siya, no? Okay, ang pangalan sa ating entity is product, or let's say you can use item. And so entity na siya. Ayan. So item. Now, next, after nyo ma-display ang entity, anong next na paon? Ang iyang attribute. So, ang attribute naton, or attributes will be, ito na, may flow line, no? Okay, ang attributes sa item, what do you think? So, ang attributes niya is, okay, ang attributes niya pwede barcode, pwede bar code. And so entity ano na sa attribute niya sa item, kaya ang item may barcode. Sige, copy and paste ta. So ano pagid ang ara sa item? nga pwede tang mahimo attribute. Siyempre, item name. So, dapat ipangalan gid ang produkto. Okay? Kanang ang karon nagkuha ka sa product, wala pangalan. O, napagit. O, yan. O, basa nyo din. Nabasa ko yung mind nyo. Anong next? Okay? I can read your mind. So, the next is your item what? Item price. Correct? Or you can use na ng price na lang. Sige na. O, napagit. O, what you can add on our attributes. Okay? You can have also another one. Okay? So, we will add two more. So, the other one would be okay, the item type. Anong item type ta? Item type are beverages, frozen goods, ano pa, shampoo, body soap, alcohol, and so on. So, I think nakakita nyo na sa mga stores. And the last one, okay, last na lang, hinantay 5, para Power Ranger. The other one would be syempre, kung may price, there will be quantity. Kung pila sa kabilog, nga ara sa stocks. Ayan. So, amo niyang inyong ERD. You have one entity, the name is item. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attributes such as barcode, item name, price, item type, quantity. In any order. You can arrange it on your perspective kung sino dang unahon nyo. Okay? Just make sure that all of the necessary and related and relevant attributes should be displayed or should be emphasized on the entity. I mean, on your entity. So, ang entity nyo dapat related ang iyang attributes. Okay. So, that is on how to create an ERD. Amen. So, on your activity and exam for the prelim exam, sorry, I will just erase this one first. And this one. Okay, so for your assessment and exam, so you will be creating ERT based on the following entities. So, yan. So, again, I give example ko, only one entity. So, this time, on your prelim and exam, as a group, so you will be creating 3 entities, such as employee, employer rank, and payroll, or employee payroll. Yan. So, you think of such attributes that can be okay, relevant to your different entities. Si employee medyo hapos. So, how about imp rank and imp payroll? Ayan. Then, analyze the said entities and apply necessary attributes to each entity. Okay. So, note, ERD should be plotted on a document or you can draw na lang in a clean bond paper. Then, take a picture of it. Kung daw wala ka mo word, no? So you can draw on a clean bond paper, then submit it on my email. So, libjonatanmandeya29@gmail.com. Okay? So, kindly put your full name, okay? Full name sang inyo nga kung pila ka mo da kabilog sa isa ka group, ibutang nyo da kay hindi ta pa ka mga dama yung kilala. Okay? So, together with your year, section, and the subject field of our email. Ayan. So, for example, aring subject nyo, ibutang nyo da tanan ng pangalan nyo. Siyempre, ako na diyo, Jonathan, ibutang nyo de, 2. Tapos, subject, ibutang nyo da. Tapos, i-attach yung file, no? I-attach yung file na draw nyo or plot nyo sa document format or naka-word. So, depende sa inyo if it is in a word format or it's just a clean bond paper. Okay? So, submit this on or before May 29. So, that is the first na, okay? That is the first naton assessment na. Okay? So, tomorrow I will be sending again the midterm naman niya video tutorial on the, I think it's on the week wait okay, so on the week 3, so dito naman ta makuha sa inyong midterm exam. Kaysa 5, 7, 8 and the rest of it project na. Amo na inyong final. Okay? So don't worry, ang deadline gapon is same with the deadline on the prelim. Okay? Para tingog na lang inyong mahatag ang inyong final output. Okay? Okay. So that's it. Okay, so wait for another video regarding our next topic. Okay, stay safe guys and thank you.